Hey guys, it's Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist, and I wanted to do a little field video from snowy Stephansminda, Georgia, on buying land, because we've talked about this recently, and I wanted to kind of show you. Right behind me, 1,200 square meters of land, and right behind that, you can see it, is the Rooms Hotel, kind of the trendy hotel up here in the mountains, where you come and you sit by the fireplace and drink wine, and it's great. I'm up here writing my book. And there's no decisions to make every day, so it's easy to get a book done. But the land itself is a bit overpriced. And this land is land that we found coming up here a couple months ago. And it's being sold by a Georgian who figures they can cash in on being next to a known commodity. What you, of course, can make of that land next to the known commodity is unknown. And quite frankly, the fact that it is on the internet and is in this allegedly great location, next to nothing else except for the trendy hotel, makes me think that it's not a great deal. And so this is one of the big mistakes people make when they want to buy land in a new country, especially an emerging country. And I have experience on this myself, mostly in Europe, in the Balkans, in Georgia, and a few other countries where I haven't done deals, but have done a lot of research and come very close. I have friends in Central America, Asia, and the thing is the same everywhere. You don't go online, find an agent, etc. It's totally different. You got to be on the ground and you got to know what the good deals are. These guys figure someone will drive by, some Russian from just up the road, they got plenty of money, they'll pay 80 grand, done deal. That foreigner premium. So I remember someone asked me once, Andrew, here's some land in Ecuador, have one of your team members call them. And the land on the website was sold 4 years earlier. They're like, what are you talking about? That land was sold, so we don't even remember it, quite frankly. Because they don't sell online. You got to be there. So if you're looking for land on the internet and you're hearing me talk about land, you're probably not going to have a ton of success. There are local websites in the local language that if you have an attorney, which is typically what I do, I have them kind of go through my parameters and figure out what I want. But other than that, you're going to want to be on the ground and figure out what your key areas are. And so the best way typically to find land deals, to find the brokers who sell land locally, is, as I've talked about many times, to have an attorney to help you be introduced to those people, to do the translation, and to make sure you're getting a fair deal. So this land is about, $70 a square meter. We purchased land along the National Road and along the river outside of one of the resort areas for about $1.20 a square meter. And it's land that has frontage on the main highway. It has frontage on the water. Kind of like this. I mean, there's not next to a big resort, but it's near the resort area. And so I think that, finding deals, that one was a foreclosure. Finding deals from banks, finding deals from local brokers who are selling. We've bought land anywhere from $1 to $2 a meter here in Georgia, which is probably the cheapest place in the world to buy land of everywhere I've been. If you want coastal land, then Central America, perhaps Albania, is a good bet. But I think that land is a great deal if you're more established. I've been interested in real estate and have done real estate for many years on a residential property basis. Land is something that I've always had an interest in and started doing a couple years ago because I look at it as an alternative asset class to cash. Somewhat in the same way as gold, obviously less liquid. Some land can take years to sell, but I think with a lot higher growth potential. So there's an area where we bought some land outside of the capital city here for, I think, 90 cents a square meter. And if you go about a mile down the road, we're selling for $40, $50 a meter. And our land is missing power. And we figured out, okay, what's the power plan? The plan is in 7 years they have power. Somewhat of a speculative investment, but we went and checked and saw what's actually going on, what's planned. And in 10, 15 years, can this land be worth 10 or 15 or 20 times the price? They say land, they're not making any more of it, right? Obviously, some land is just worthless. Just buying any land, buying cheap land is not going to work. But overpaying for land like this is also not going to work. So I think that I'm a big proponent of emerging market land, but you want to be smart. And the key tip for doing that is just forget the internet. Forget the brokers that you might find. Forget any Western brokers, because even in the residential market, you might pay, I've seen even 2 or 3 times the normal price with the Western-friendly brokers. Anything with like American in the name, you go to Central America, if the name like American is in the real estate agency's name, forget it. You're not going to get any good deals, and especially not on land. So you really have to be careful, because I know guys in Central America who've paid $5,000 for an acre and they're near the water. And then they cut up those lands and they sell it for $100,000 for an acre, or $40,000 for a quarter acre building lot, and there's a ton of money in that. So, you want to be on the other end of the spectrum, but you got to be in the ground, or you have to hire someone who's in the know, a lawyer, someone local, etc. One of the cool things here in Georgia is that you can actually cut up land relatively easily. So if you buy a big piece of land, you can cut it up and sell it, which potentially makes it easier to complete transactions. It also means that there's not a lot of crony capitalist premium baked in for being able to do the long work to subdivide land. But that's the basic tip, is know how to buy. Know where to buy. Don't be buying stuff next to resorts. I wouldn't do this, but if you can still find some great deals as the snow falls down upon me. If you want to find out how I went through the process to buy a cattle ranch for $14,000, I talk about other land deals, lands I'm looking at, you can go to our website or leave